So now I hear the crowd. So it either looks like someone is either speaking or something is happening. I'm not certain if they, after this, will then start walking through the streets as a group, or if they'll just, everybody goes up their own way. But definitely a big crowd. If it does happen that they all end up walking through the streets, that will definitely block everything, because like they're not all going to fit through these streets in downtown. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This crowd here has started gathering around 8:30 this morning. This area is where all the federal buildings are. That right there that you're looking at there on the right here, this is City Hall. I'll show you the top of it. That right there is City Hall. There you have the 101 freeway. As you can see, the 101 heading this way is pretty light. There's not a lot of traffic. This is the front of City Hall. I believe that is Grand Molina Park. And as you can see, people are still walking up those up that street. That is Broadway. So ever since the metro station started, and let me show you more people walking. So these people are walking. I don't know. Yeah, this is Hill. So a lot more people walking in from Hill still to that direction. And then further down there, that's First. And as you can probably see right there, if you zoom in, people are coming in from First, from behind City Hall towards this area. Ever since the metro stations have, they've added, I think it's 3 more in this area the last couple of years. It provided more easier access to this location without having to worry about parking. There is one down here on Hill and on Broadway and Second, and then Little Tokyo has another one, obviously, and then behind the brook. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is downtown Los Angeles in California. This is in front of City Hall. It looks like someone is maybe speaking down there. I'm pretty high up, so I can't really hear unless they have something on a speaker. Earlier, it sounded like somebody wasn't a microphone, but maybe right now someone is speaking down there, and I just can't. I can't hear it up here. This is the 42nd floor. I've zoomed in, and that's as much as I can zoom in. Sorry. I can probably see it on TV as well. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the crowd that started together around 8:30 this morning. It started with around 20 people. It's grown to obviously this size, this big size here. It's still growing. People are still walking from various directions of the streets in downtown to this area. This is where all the federal buildings are downtown. They surround sort of the City Hall. A lot of the buildings have either guards, or I don't know if it's National Guard or Marines, but or LAPD, but they're definitely guarding they're boarded up. They're guarding the front entrances. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd is still growing. There are still people showing up and walking up in various directions. You can see that crowd there, where that bus is passing. Those people are walking up. They're walking up Broadway. This is the park that's in front of City Hall. It's Grand Molina Park. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the sharing. This is downtown Los Angeles, in front of City Hall. I can hear some cheering in the crowd a little bit, but like I said, unless they have a speaker, it's hard to hear from up here. I'm on the 42nd floor at the Grand. I've zoomed in as much as I can, at least on my phone. I'm sure there's a way to zoom in more, but I haven't figured it out. I think you can on your end. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. There are still people in the streets walking towards that direction. This crowd that you see there, they started gathering around 8:30 this morning. Down here, as you can see, more people are walking up into that area. This here is the intersection of Hill and First. All those people are walking east on First. And as they're walking by, you can barely see, maybe if you zoom in, there's officers guarding that federal courthouse that's right there in front. That is the corner of Hill and First. There's another crowd that's gathered there. This is the other, because the park is sort of split into like 3 sections almost, I think. This is one other part. There's people gathered there. This is where one of the metro station exits is. So a lot of people are probably coming from that station there, where you see that little oval piece right there on the left. That's the exits to one of the metro stations. There's also one down here on the corner. This here is the Civic station. That's the same exit, the same station as the other one I just showed, but the different exit. And then down here, and I don't know what that is, if those are officers right there, but those are, that's another metro station. So a lot of people are walking up from that one. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the crowd that started with about 20 people around 8:30 this morning. As you can see, it's now well over, I'm sure, thousands of people there, because they almost don't look like people. Sorry, that's as much as I can zoom in. This is the view from the 42nd floor at the Grand. Thanks for joining, everyone. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This view is from the 42nd floor of the Grand, the building that's right in front of the Walt Disney Concert Hall. This is me zooming in from the 42nd floor, and that's as much as I can zoom in. I believe you may be able to on your end to zoom in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. You're looking at downtown Los Angeles. This is the front of City Hall. This is the crowd that started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Started with about 20 people in that little park. Now at 10:19 a.m., it's grown to this size, and it's still growing. There are still people walking up from various locations. I'll go show you here. Those people that you see there in that bottom area, those are people who are walking up from Broadway. That is one direction that people are walking from. They're walking north, and there's people walking from the west side, the east side. I can show maybe here. Back there, that's First, and maybe you can see all those people right there in that crosswalk in the middle. That is First, so those people are walking First, and that's behind City Hall. So they're definitely, it looks like, obviously going that direction. You still have people down here, and this is the intersection of all those people that are walking there. That is the intersection of 2nd and Broadway. So there's people are still walking from various directions to it. This is the intersection of Hill and First. Actually, you can see a group of people walking there. But majority of people are coming up Broadway, right there at the bottom. There are guards that are guarding the front part of City Hall. That's why you don't see many people up in those steps, because they have like a barricade. This is the front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is the view from the 42nd floor of the Grand, next to the Walt Disney Concert Hall. This is the front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. The crowd that you see here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit now so you can kind of see more of it. As you can see that crowd there. Now it doesn't even look like people. It looks like, I can't, like dots. But this is where it started with 20. And as you can see, it's obviously not more 20, but now that I can zoom in, you can see the people, they're still walking up. So that's just one location they're walking from. They're still coming. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. If you're just joining, thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is the crowd here that started with 20 people at about 8:30 a.m. this morning. It's now obviously thousands, I would assume. Looks like possibly maybe thousands. There are, I think there are Marines somewhere downtown, but I know that the National Guard is definitely here. They're in the building that is behind City Hall. It's where the detention center is. Let me see if I can show you that building from here. So it's that red building right there. That's the detention center. That's where the protesting has been happening for the last 8 days. And then this is City Hall. So a lot of people are walking. You can see them maybe right there in the middle where those cars are. They're coming from that area. They're either coming from that other protest or I don't know from where, but they're definitely walking to this direction for sure. There's still more people down there gathered and walking up. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Right here, this is City Hall. That right there on the left top that you see, that's the 101. This is where all the federal buildings, this is one of them. This is Grand Molina Park. This is an area where they're starting to gather. They've gathered here. There's several groups here, and then a majority of it is happening there. This is the crowd that started with about 20 people this morning around 8:30 a.m. This is downtown Los Angeles in front of City Hall. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. There are still people walking up from various directions of the streets in downtown Los Angeles. This is the area where all the federal buildings are. This is where you see the majority of the police activity, and lately where you see the majority of the protests. A lot of the protests have started in downtown, in front of City Hall. I mean, specifically, a lot of the gathering happens in front of those steps there you see at the right, where the little arches are, and that's the front entrance. So that's where right now there is. You can probably see from that. There's one standing in that light. You can see him there. Let me see if I can zoom in further. I can't zoom in, but he's standing right there. You see someone in there. In the middle, and that's one of the guards that's guarding the front. Like you can see him in the shadow. Right? There's a little light of him, but that's so that's the front of City Hall. It's definitely they can't go up there. There was some tagging that I saw there on the front the other day. I don't know if they were able to remove it. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This crowd of people started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Started with about a group of 20 people. It's now grown to thousands, it looks like. And it looks like now it's going beyond, it's going north. The crowd is going north of, what is that, Spring, which is that street that's right in front of City Hall. So it looks like it's going up. It's going that way, and if more people start walking up that way, it's going to grow the other ways too. So it's going wider than there. This is in front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is the view from the 42nd floor of the Grand. This is as much as I can zoom in. You may be able to zoom in a little more on your end. As far as what is happening down there, I can hear a little bit of cheering up here, unless they use, because I'm so high up, unless they use like a microphone or their speakers, it's hard to hear. But maybe someone is speaking down there, but I do hear some cheering happening. And I definitely, you can definitely see the people walking from the various streets up to that area. Like there are moments where there will be like a big crowd and then a small group and then a big crowd. So there's, it's still pretty constant or consistent, the flow of people walking in. I know that the protest was about to start at 10 o'clock. So it looks like people are starting to show up. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. This is downtown Los Angeles, California. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd that you see there started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. The curfew down in this area is from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Yeah, if you're planning to come down here, I would suggest that you eat before you come, because I don't think there's going to be anything to like, there's no food trucks out here, definitely for sure. There's no, like, a lot of the restaurants and places have closed down. I don't even know if Grand Central Market is open. I ordered something, I think was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday. It was around 6:30, and the app told me that they won't deliver to this address. And then I ordered something to pick up somewhere, and then when I showed up, the place was closed. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest if you come, don't, because there's nothing around here for now, because what there is a lot of police presence and a lot of protesters. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd is more than just what you see there. There's another little area that's gathered to the south side, or I guess what is that? The west side of the park. So this is Grand Molina Park. This is one of the sections. So they've gathered here. There's that Donald Trump ducky, that inflatable or balloon that you see there. I think that's the back of it. This is in front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. People are still walking up. As you can see, they're walking up right there. That is Broadway. So a lot of these people are walking up Broadway. There are several metro stations now in this area. So people are able to access this downtown area without having to worry about parking from various locations of Los Angeles now. The crowd is definitely grown much bigger than this morning at 8:30. That's when, like I said, it started with about 20 people this morning with this crowd in front of City Hall. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is where all the federal buildings are. This is where a lot of the police presence, a lot of the activity has been happening in the last few days. This is where the square mile area, part of the square mile area where the curfew is. It starts at 8 p.m. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for joining, everyone. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd is still growing. As you can see now, there's a bunch of more people a big group of people walking up. This is Broadway right there. That's one direction that people are walking up. They're also walking up from the other streets or locations of here in downtown. If you live downtown, you've been to downtown, you know that parking, it could be very annoying, but it is a weekend. But however, there's still limited parking, or it's very expensive. So now they have created a lot of more metro stations down here. opened about 2 years ago, and that has allowed more access to this area. So, which is probably why a lot of people are showing up like this in big groups. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall, California. I believe the specific zip code right in this area is 90012. This is where all the federal buildings are, where the courthouses are, where all the underground tunnels are. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Yeah, people are still walking up the street from that's Broadway. They're coming up Broadway. Let me see in there. Yeah, it looks like they're all coming from the metro station. So that is the they're coming from the historic Broadway metro station, and then they're walking up Broadway to the location. There is definitely still people on this area here that is walking towards it. This is the intersection of Hill and First. And then you've got either National Guard or officers there in that corner guarding that this federal building right here that you see on the right. It's a federal courthouse, I'm sorry. But there's also that group on this side too. They've got a huge group right there. That little group right there has grown much bigger. It wasn't that big earlier. As I mentioned, there's definitely still people walking from various areas. There's people walking from there. Now there's a much bigger group that's coming up. This right here, that's Broadway. Broadway and Second. That right there on the corner, that's the historic Broadway metro station. This is one of the parking lots that is always like last night. Normally on a Friday night, around 9 p.m., it's this full. But obviously, because of the curfew, it's not, it was empty last night because everything was closed. So I would assume that a lot of these cars are people that are, that are at the protest. But as you can see, there's still definitely people walking up. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is City Hall, in front of City Hall, Grand Molina Park area, downtown LA, where all the federal buildings are. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd that you see here started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Started with about a group of 20 people, and it grew to this size and is continuing to grow. As you can see down here on the lower right, those people are walking up to that area. They're walking up Broadway, and behind them, there's still a bunch more walking up as well. Like I said, they're either coming from the metro stations. Now that we have around here, we have about let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have about 4 metro stations that are easy to walk to City Hall. So a lot of the people are probably coming from there if they're in groups, because the parking situation downtown is not as it's pretty bad. This is downtown Los Angeles. Thanks for joining. This is in front of City Hall. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see more of the big picture here. Sorry for the reflection. This is City Hall. As you can see, that down there, that's where the crowd is. These are all federal buildings here. So this is a federal courthouse. That right there in the middle that you see, which is kind of in front of City Hall, that is the LAPD headquarters downtown. And then down here is where you have, like I said, another metro station here. So that Little Tokyo is up that way. This is in front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. This is the view from the 42nd floor at the Grand. I'll zoom in a little more so you can see as much as I can zoom in. That's as much as I'm able to zoom in. From here, you can probably zoom in further if you'd like to see more. As you can see down here on the right, there are more people walking up still. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This crowd has definitely grown and gotten bigger since 8:30 a.m. this morning when it was about 20 people. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. You're looking at the front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. This is the area where all the federal buildings are. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is by City Hall. As you can see, the crowd so this is City Hall here. To that side, it looks like the crowd is growing that way, and it's also growing this way. Now I can't see to this side, and this is closer to First. There are people that are walking from back there on First this direction still, and as you can see down here, there are still people walking up Broadway. There's another group of people walking here. This is Hill. So they're still coming from various directions. This is where all the federal buildings are in downtown Los Angeles. This is a federal courthouse right here. This is City Hall. And down up here, what you see, that's the 101 freeway. That's City Hall. This is downtown Los Angeles. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. This is as much as I can zoom in. This is the view from the 42nd floor. I can zoom out a little bit, yeah. So normally when there's a lot of police activity, you can see it around here because you're so high up. A lot of those people that are there probably parked there because those parking lots are just they're not. Yeah, they're for pay. Thank you for the flowers or the roses. This is downtown Los Angeles right here. This is the intersection of Broadway and 2nd. Down here, this is 2nd. So if you go up here, that's where Little Tokyo is. Down here is sort of in the middle. And then towards this side here, in the middle is sort of, in the back is the Arts District. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the crowd started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Let me zoom into the crowd. It started with about 20 people this morning. It's now, obviously, as you can see, has grown. It's now obviously thousands of people. I don't see any drones, at least not this high. This is the 42nd floor. The one thing that I do see at this level sometimes are the helicopters. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the crowd that began gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Started with about 20 people. There are still people walking up to this area from various streets of downtown. I can't hear anyone speaking unless they're on like a microphone speaker. Then I don't hear any cheering. But it sounds like someone might be speaking down there. So yeah, now I hear like a Megatron, or a megaphone. So it sounds like someone is speaking down there. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. If you're just joining, you're looking at the front of City Hall, Grand Molina Park in downtown Los Angeles. This is where the crowd in downtown area started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. This is the area where we have a lot of federal buildings, the area where we've had a lot of police activity the last few days, and also one of the main areas that is within the curfew, the 8 p.m. curfew, daily curfew we had. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. If you're just joining, you're looking at downtown Los Angeles in front of City Hall. The crowd started gathering this morning around 8:30, and as you can see, there are still people walking in that direction. Those people down there in that street, they're walking up Broadway. There are people walking in that direction from various other streets or areas of the downtown. A lot of the people seem to be taking the metro. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the crowd started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. Started with about a group of 20 people. Thank you for the roses. It now has grown to looks like thousands of people, and it's still growing. There are people coming from various directions. That is right there. You see those people that are walking there. They're walking up Broadway. Down here, this group is walking uphill, and they're going east on First. This building here is a federal courthouse, and it's got either National Guard or Marines right there standing there. I can't zoom in any further. This is as much as I can zoom in. This is the view from the 42nd floor of the Grand. And as you can see, the crowd has grown here. It's grown, I guess, north and south on Spring, that's in front of the City Hall right there. And then it's growing here in this park. So people are coming from various directions. You also have this other section of the park here. Grand Molina Park. This is California. This is Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where all the federal buildings are. This is mainly where a lot of the police activity and the protesting has been happening for the last few days. I think we're on day 8. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. This is downtown Los Angeles. Thank you for the rose. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the area that where the people started to gather this morning around 8:30 a.m. The people are still walking towards that direction from the various streets. I'll show you again here down in, this is the intersection right here of Hill and First. And people are walking uphill, looks like it, and they're walking east on First, headed towards that area right there. That is the Grand Molina Park. That is right in front of City Hall. And right there at City Hall, right there in the middle where you see those little arches, that is the front, I believe, front entrance, or one of the front entrances. That has either National Guard or Marines or LAPD that's guarding it. So that's why you don't see people on the steps going any further. But that's where a lot of the protesting has been happening lately. There's still groups of people walking up. You've got another group of people here. Oops, sorry. Right there, you've got a group of people here. They're walking up Broadway and 2nd. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where a lot of people start gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. It started with a group of about 20 people. Then it grew to this size, and it's still growing. As you can see, there's still people walking from various locations of the streets in downtown to that area. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The crowd is definitely big and growing. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. This is downtown LA, or downtown Los Angeles, for those of you that don't hear it as LA. This is in front of City Hall. This is the area where all the federal buildings are downtown. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the gift. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where a lot of the people started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. Started with a group of approximately 20 people. Looks like they're starting to march or either walk in one direction. So it's possible that they are going to walk through the streets. It looks like that group, let me show you on this side. They're slowly moving. It's either they're moving or my eyes are moving, but it looks like, see right here, they're starting to move south on Spring, that group. So they're starting to, like the little crowd is starting to move south. So I don't know if they are going to walk through the streets, but if this entire group of people decides to walk through those streets, the streets of downtown they're not that big. So I don't know how they're going to fit. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the group of people started gathering this morning. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. This is where the group of people started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. Let me turn a little more. There we go. I see how you see those people. They're all walking south on the street, so I don't know if they are. It seems like they are. They're starting to march. So now they're walking south on. This group here is starting to walk south on, I believe that is, what is that street? I gotta get confused. Broadway, that's Broadway. So they're walking down Broadway. Yeah, this is a group of people walking down Broadway. That's not everyone that's on the other side. So that's what I don't know if they're going to break off into different groups and all of them walk through downtown and just take over downtown. But the last time this sort of thing happened, but they did walk all together, was during the Dodgers championship that happened, the World Series. This is downtown LA. This is by City Hall. This is Broadway. They're about to cross 2nd. That right there is the historic Broadway metro station. So all these people are starting to walk south. They're coming from City Hall. But as you can see, it's this group that was on this side that is walking down that way. It's not this whole group. This whole group is still there. But I believe it looks like they're starting to move this way slowly. And I can't zoom in any further, I'm sorry. This is the view from the 42nd floor at the Grand. You can probably zoom in on your end, but yeah. But if they start walking south, then they're going to basically take over that whole area of historic area. And if they go down Broadway, Broadway is the street that there was a lot of looting that happened not last few days, I think it was last weekend or maybe on Monday. So this group here is now taken over, and they've pretty much are even on the sidewalks over on Broadway. They're going south on Broadway, and they're about to cross 2nd. Oh, they have crossed 2nd, I mean. So this is 2nd and Broadway. The historic area, again, is going to be all down here. So this is where a lot of the, if they took over this area, this is where a lot of the old buildings are. A lot of those jewelry stores are down here. The jewelry area is, a lot of those places have boarded up. They started boarding up a couple of days ago because they, ever since a lot of jewelry stores got hit. So a lot of these people are still there, but that group is starting to head. So you might see, if any of you live down here, you're going to start in this area, and you're going further south of downtown. They're going to start heading down that way. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the group that started gathering here around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Part of the group has already started to move through the downtown streets. This is the majority. This is that group you see now is the biggest group. So that group has been there since 8:30, not the entire, but that's the one that's grown. Since 8:30, started with about 20 people. It's now grown to this. It looks like they're all either moving slowly or they're still gathering. But the other group that was next to them has now, like I said, taken over. This is Hill. And now, I'm sorry, Broadway. And now they're all going down Broadway. So now they're taking over that. And as you can see, they're going down this way. And then they're passing over to this building. Now they're on the other side there. So now they're crossing right there. And then they're about to pass 3rd Street on Broadway. So they're headed to they're going to pass by the entrance of, on Broadway, of the Grand Central Market. So it looks like they're headed down that way. But this is Broadway. This group is now headed down Broadway. They were all gathered at City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, we are in downtown Los Angeles. This is City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. Started with a group of around 20 people, and now it's definitely grown over thousands. A majority of, it's almost like there's 2 groups. One group has split up and gone, and now they're all marching and walking down Broadway. The other group is who you see here. And this is the biggest group here. I can't zoom in any further. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is City Hall, where all the federal buildings are. As you can see, that there's, even behind those trees, there's a bunch of people there. So it's possible that all these people will start marching soon. And if they go in the same direction as the other group, then the streets of downtown will definitely be full of people, within like the next hour. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. Let me see. I think I can't zoom in any further. This is as much as I can zoom in. You can probably zoom in on your end if you want to see any detail of the people there. But it looks like that group is still there. They're either listening to someone speak. It's hard to hear from up here. This is the 42nd floor of the Grand. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the view from the Grand, the 42nd floor, next to the Conrad Hotel, right by the Walt Disney Concert Hall. This is the front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. As you can see, people are gathered there. I'll show you a little more of what City Hall looks like. That's what City Hall looks like. There's the 101 freeway. Here's where the majority of the protesters are now. This group was the one that grew from about 20 to this size and even more. But a lot of them started, as you can see, they were walking right here. They're walking south on Broadway. And that group is part of this group here that now, as you can see, looks like a lot of people. That is the group that is walking down Broadway, and they're all walking, south. And they're passing, this is 2nd. And then down here, they're about to pass 3rd Street. This is downtown Los Angeles. This area that I'm showing is now like the historic area of downtown. This is where like the pretty much the old buildings are. Broadway is an area where a lot of the like old theaters are. And they're still there. Those theaters are still there now. I think there's one time a year where they call it Broadway Nights or Broadway Lights or something like that. And it's basically a night where they open up all the theaters so you can actually go in and see them, what they look like to the public. But this is the intersection of Broadway and 2nd. This is the metro station right there. That parking lot is the metro station. Thank you for the gift. The metro station to the historic Broadway area. A lot of these people were the ones that started gathering in front of City Hall. This is one of the groups that started marching south. Thank you for the gifts. This is another group here that has been there, and this is the group that where people started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. They are still there. It looks like someone is either speaking, but it doesn't look like they're moving. But I feel like they are going to move, because if this other group started marching, they're definitely going to start marching soon. So if that happens, it would, and I would say in an hour, that the streets of downtown are going to be filled with people, because there's no way all these people are going to fit. The streets are not that wide. Again, this is downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is where a lot of the protesters started gathering this morning. They started gathering around 8:30 in the morning. We started with a group of about 20. It's now grown to, thousands of people. There are 2 groups in downtown. And I will say, so far, it looks like a very peaceful protest. You don't hear any you normally from up here, you can hear there's any yelling or screaming or something happening, but you don't hear that. It just looks like people are cheering and horns are honking. So it definitely looks very peaceful. There's still thousands of people down here. There are still people walking to City Hall area. Like right down here, you can see all these people. This is the intersection of Hill and 1st. And right here, all these people are walking to City Hall. Thank you for the gift. A lot of those people are walking there. And this is where it all started, where they started gathering this morning around 8:30 in the morning. About 20 people started gathering here. The crowd grew. People started walking from different areas of the streets of downtown. One of the groups started walking south, like with these people. This is like the tail end of that group. But they're starting to move south. And now, as you can see, they're walking here. This was one of the groups is walking south on Broadway. So now, if you are near Broadway, if you live downtown, they're definitely walking. A huge crowd of people are going to be walking past you. Again, it looks like a very peaceful protest so far, which is great. This is the historic area of downtown Los Angeles, which is Broadway. That's, like I mentioned earlier, that's an area where a lot of the old theaters are. That's also the area that did have some looting done, where the Adidas store was broken into, and I think it was I can't remember if it was the Nike or the Air Jordan store last week. But that's the historic area where all those buildings are. So it looks like they are walking down, because this is 3rd, that little part of the street right there, that is 3rd. So they're crossing 3rd for sure. They're going to walk down Broadway. And it's possible that they're going to all walk down, make like a right, and then come back up to City Hall, and that's where they'll end. But this is the, sorry for the reflection. This is going down Broadway. A lot of these people were at City Hall. This is a huge crowd that's now marching through the streets. Now you still have that other group that's over at City Hall. And as you can see, they're taking up most of like the sides of Spring Street. That's the front of City Hall, and even down to this side. So this group has been here, started to gather, not all of them obviously, but some of them started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. That is one of two big groups that is protesting or marching through downtown. There's one group that's going down, huge group that's going down south on Broadway. They've just crossed Third on Broadway, so they're headed down Broadway. This group that you see here is in downtown Los Angeles in front of City Hall. This is where all the federal buildings are. There is a lot of people down here. Yeah, thousands of people. Because we have the curfew, and specifically in this area where all the federal buildings are, the curfew is lifted at 6 a.m. So this morning, like around, I would say around 7:38, there was nobody around here. It was very it was empty. But then I noticed that little group of people in where you see there was about 20 of them. And then it just started getting bigger and bigger as more people started walking up. And they're coming from various areas of downtown. Downtown of Los Angeles. I know that there's a lot of the access is easier to this area now that they have the new metro stations that we've had for the last 2 years. I'll show you now. This is where that group is walking. So that group is still walking down here. They're walking down Broadway, down there. And right there, that parking lot in that blue sort of rooftop, that is the historic Broadway metro station. So a lot of people can come. You can come from like East LA. You can come from Santa Monica. You can come from Pasadena. You can come from Long Beach, and you can get off right there. And so that's like close to the City Hall where this is at. So a lot of people are. I think that's how they ended up coming downtown in groups. As you can see, people are still. They're not part of any group. They're walking probably towards that area. This is also right there in the very corner. You can see those officers are standing there. They're guarding the federal.
Damn. Oh, wow. Holy fuck. That's probably got to be one of the most LA things I've ever seen. No way. That thing's huge. It's so huge. Look how girthy it is. Oh, when people are like, there's a shithole. I wouldn't ever live there. This is the type of shit that I love. Incredible. Yeah, I love the people out here. Thank you. People are fucking funny. You know we like to laugh. Son and Trey Parker to make that it's giving me. If you ever seen the episode of South Park where they made Snooki wants a mush. It reminds me of that level of detail. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube real quick. They did her so dirty. It's incredible. Suicycle. Thank you for the lot of people, or just in general today. If you don't know, we're on that. So, yeah, I want to give you like a pre-sorry. Oh, you dropped your helmet, sir. You need that later. Good morning. Good morning. Oh wow! I can't believe that. I thought it was a dinosaur. First time for our president to be someone of the times, the current times. You know what I mean? Like these. That'd be wild. Yeah, once all the old heads get out and the newer ones come on, it's gonna take some time. Awesome, Mima. Yeah, I definitely think that the younger generations below me are gonna affect changes at us. Liz, thank you for the corgi. Snooki, you want some smush, smush? Snow Queen, thank you, Mr. Napita, thank you. Liz with another corgi, thank you. Thank you for the corgi. Oh, wow. Man, so they got to navigate around those. I want to go in there and get a close up, but I know we're going to lose signal for sure over there. Barb W, thank you for the corgi. I'm just resub, thank you, M. Is he in a diaper? Oh, no way. He's in a fucking diaper. If you're in a diaper, that means you're shitting yourself. That's what diapers are for. Shitting yourself. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad I didn't wait to come out here. We're cooking today. What's up? Yes, it is. Surprised there's a doo-doo sitting on it. Why don't you check it out later at the back end? What the hell is going on? No King's Day. Thank you. NCLA, thank you. Julie, thank you. We got the Metro bikes. Let's go. All 100 at the home. Yeah, and all 120. What's your activity look like over on me? Is that a taco truck? Yes. EDP 4. Is it on the move with the crowd? With going with the flow?
They're mainly all headed north. It's not certain where they'll turn, but most of the time what happens when big crowds march through the streets in downtown like this, if they start at City Hall, they'll all 1111 for anyone. They'll go down City Hall and they'll turn and then come back up and come back around. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is the crowd that half of this crowd has already started marching through the streets of downtown. They're headed down Broadway. This group here looks like they're starting to move slowly, and they're marching down Spring. We'll start to see them down on the right as they start to move through the streets. They haven't passed or crossed. I don't think they haven't crossed First yet, or maybe they've already crossed First. Down here, you see a lot of people that are either recording or because they're not moving, they're standing right in the middle of the street. So I think definitely that group has already blocked those streets up there. So they can't move here. So the cars are, so now you can see the cars are starting to get stuck. So if you're going to be driving through downtown, don't, because you're going to get stuck. Especially as soon as all of these people here that you see here that are going down Broadway, that group, they're probably already taking over like 3 blocks. That's how big the crowd is. And as soon as that group meets with that other group that you see here, you can't see a lot of them because they're behind these buildings now over here, but we'll see them when they get to like this intersection. As soon as that group meets, those 2 groups are going to take over. If you are driving through the streets, you're going to get stuck. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning at around 8:30 a.m. this morning. A lot of this park was full about 20 minutes ago, and now it started with a group of them moving down Broadway. That group is probably already close to 5th, between 4th and 5th. They were about to cross 4th and 5th on Broadway, headed south. The group that you see there is now moving slowly, and they're moving down Spring. And then what starts to happen as they start moving through, the LAPD starts to create barricades. So they almost like they start hurting them so that they don't go in certain areas. So it looks like here's the Donald Trump inflatable that I'm about to show you guys. So there he is. So he's going to be traveling down Broadway. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is Broadway, and this is the intersection of Broadway and 2nd. This crowd here started gathering around 8:30 a.m. in front of City Hall. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is the historic, this is where the federal buildings are right here. That building that you see right there, that is the LAPD headquarters. This here is a federal courthouse. And this is all the people that were gathered at City Hall. They started around 8:30 a.m. this morning, and they now started moving down south on Broadway. This is sort of the back of that group. I don't know if that other group is going to join them here. Maybe they'll join them in the back. If they don't come down Spring, they might join them in the back. So it's possible that will happen. So if that happens, then it's going to be a huge group marching downtown Broadway. So again, if you're planning to come to downtown or walk or drive through for any reason, don't, because you're going to get stuck. Unless you want to be part of the protest, but otherwise, yeah, you will get stuck. This is Broadway. These people are headed south on Broadway. They started gathering in front of City Hall. There's still a group that is in front of City Hall that's slowly moving south as well. I can't tell if they're coming down. See that they were all gathered there, and now they started all moving down south. So this group here is moving. You can see them there behind those trees. They're moving either south, that's Spring, or they're coming and making a right down here to join this. They're making a right on First to join the back of this group, which is possible. If that's the case, yeah, like I said, as soon as those 2 groups merge, the streets of downtown are going to be filled with people. and I don't believe they're wide enough to be able to, fit everyone. So if you're in a car, you're going to be stuck. And if you're claustrophobic or you don't like crowds, then yeah, definitely don't go outside because it'll be very crowded. So this is Broadway. People are traveling south on Broadway. They all started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning in front of City Hall. It's possible that once they move down Broadway, they'll make a U-turn, and then come back up and end up at City Hall. But for now, the group is traveling south on Broadway. They're probably already at. This is like maybe the middle of the group because there's still a lot of people behind them, and so they're probably already. The front of the group is probably already at Broadway and Fifth. I'm sure the helicopters are overhead showing that part. So the crowd here has started to move. This crowd here, this whole area was full about half an hour ago. This is downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is where a lot of the people were gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. It started with a group of about 20. That grew to thousands of people. Thank you for the rose. It grew to thousands of. Thank you for the rose. Grew to thousands of people, and half that group already started moving down Broadway. Then this other group that was right in front of City Hall, which you see there, a lot of them started moving, and now they're all moving either south. Looks like I think they are joining that group. Yeah, so they're basically behind them. So it is. So basically, everyone that was filling this whole area here, so all that area there was full. All of this, and even down here, was full. They're all now walking through the streets in one street, which is Broadway. As you can see here, there's like at least there's like a little open area there, but the majority part, see how crowded it gets. Broadway is one of the historic streets. It's where all the old theaters are. That's like it was like the area where everybody went out, the nightlife back in the day. And so that's what they're walking down. There's some stores there that were looted recently. A lot of the stores have already boarded up with their windows, mainly in the little Tokyo area. But as you can see, this crowd is still, it's taking over that whole street. So this is already, this is between third and second. The front of the group is definitely already probably at fifth, around there. So it goes more, it's wider than that. I mean, longer than this. So if this is between second and third, and the front of the crowd's like at fifth, then that group is really big, and it's still going because you've got this area here. This is second, and Broadway, and then you've got people still here, and then behind this building, there's a lot of people still here. So the group of people that is marching together is pretty big. And again, if they're going to be going through downtown, they're definitely going to take over a lot of the street area. So if you are in a car, don't go. I would say stay east of Main Street, and then you should be okay. But if you go anywhere west of that, you're going to get stuck because there's a lot of the people. This is downtown Los Angeles. As you can see how close the helicopters, they fly very close. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall right here. The crowd this morning, thank you for the roses. The crowd this morning started gathering here. There are still people gathered there now. A lot of them have already started moving, marching through the streets. I'll zoom in if I can more. I don't think I can. No, that's as much as I can zoom in. You can probably zoom in more if you need to on your end. If you want to see more. But a lot of people are on those steps. That's where they have the officers that are in those arches that you see. That's the front of City Hall. And so people, it looks like not everyone is going to march, but it looks like some people stayed behind. And so they're either there protesting, but a lot of people did start walking through the streets, and they're all like, again, going down Broadway. This is Broadway in downtown Los Angeles. This group of people has just left the City Hall area that's where everyone started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. This is the middle. I would say this is probably the middle part of the group. The front part of the group is already like 3 blocks ahead of this. They've taken over the pretty much the entire street. Looks like even some of the sidewalk parts are taken over. So far, this seems like a very peaceful protest. I haven't heard any police sirens. I haven't heard any like major like crowd like negativity, like energy feeling. So it feels like it's so far a peaceful protest. A lot of these people started gathering this morning around 8:30 in the morning. They started gathering in front of City Hall. Right here, this is I'm zoomed in a little bit. This is the a federal courthouse. So this is the area where a lot of the federal buildings are. So, but the majority of the group, I would say not 95 maybe percent of the crowd that was there has already started marching through the streets. They are all moving south on Broadway, but for the most part, everybody was here. It is most likely possible that they're going to make a U-turn when they go. I don't know where they'll turn. Maybe Pershing Square, and they'll turn there and come back up, and then end up at City Hall again.
Look up, we lost Sherry. Dude, we're going to come back over there. Tap the screen like they're live. Thank you all. Thanks for the gifts. New York City, no Kings Rally. It's raining and all, but everybody's still out there. Can't even get close to the stage. It's packed. I guess people just gonna start marching because no one can get in anymore. Yeah, New York definitely turned out. Big time. Okay, everyone's hating. The streets are full. No one can get into the park anymore. So people start, I guess, they're marching to the next destination. Thank you for the follow. Please follow the live. Yo, that's what it is, bro. You're going to get you nowhere. No one's not going to get you nowhere.
So they're probably already like 4 to 5 blocks down. That's how long the crowd gets. This is downtown Los Angeles. This little area here is kind of like at the edge, or like where the historic area of downtown begins. Broadway, which is this street here that they're going down. All the protesters are going down Broadway in downtown Los Angeles.
Share the live, like the live. Thank you guys for the gifts. Tap the screen, everyone. We're in New York City, Bryant Park. It's more than Bryant Park now. It's all the way down. Colombians against Kings. We're in the middle of everything. No one else can get in the park, so it's going over to the street.
It's gonna happen again.
This is just having time still like New Year's Eve because they knew this many people was going to show up. Now the streets are just about closed off because everyone is in the streets. No Kings. Wow, look at that. Look at the people. I don't know why they just shut off the street. It's crazy.
No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace. No peace.
Wow, look at that. Look at the people. Crazy. That is raining.
Hall, or they're walking to join the march or the protest. This here is the intersection of Hill and First. And then you've got City Hall right here. Thank you for joining, everyone. This is City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. There's still a crowd of people that are hanging out here in front of City Hall. Some people are starting to walk with the protesters. So you see some of them walking here south on Broadway. They're most likely going to join this group here that has now gathered here. Sounds like there's also like either a bus or a truck that has music. I can hear music up here. You guys probably can't hear it, but I can hear it. This is the group this is downtown Los Angeles. This is the intersection of 2nd and Broadway. These buildings from this section here this way is all federal buildings. And then once you start from here down south, like in this area, this is like the historic area. As you can see, those buildings look old. That's where Grand Central Market is. So these group of protesters, all the protesters are walking down right now on Broadway, and they definitely have already passed the front of Grand Central Market. A lot of the front of the group is probably already at 7th, and if they didn't turn yet, they're probably already at 7th and Broadway, which is, I believe, why.
Wow. They're gonna have to close off from 6th Avenue. I don't know why they don't close it off. I guess they didn't expect that many people because it's raining, but it's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. Pretty sad. Look at them. Yeah. Thanks for the gifts. Thanks for the gifts, Terry. Thanks for the gifts. Thank you guys. Wow. New York City. Kids out there. Everyone is out there. New York City turned up. Look at the people that's pouring in. Look at the people that's pouring in. And that's every block. Look, you go down the next block, people that's pouring in. But there's no more space. And it's raining. I guess look at they marching on to the next destination. They're gonna march to where? People gonna march to
down 5th Avenue.
To which?
Madison Square Park.
Oh, Madison Square Park. So everyone's going to Madison Square Park. Madison Square Park after this. So people are going there now because Bryant Park is totally jammed. Look, it's in the street.
So it makes this experience pretty fun and pretty special. There's people everywhere in the streets. Look at the shield this guy's got. Someone's like they're really here for peace. I don't know. So this is looking up Pollock Street. his gas mask and goggles. You know, he knows something maybe we don't. I don't know. This guy with his shield. See, these are the people that are out late at night antagonizing everybody, causing trouble. Because who the fuck carries a shield around in a peaceful protest? I guess the only police presence really is maybe like a couple of air units, just kind of seeing where everybody's going. Tap that screen, like and follow. It's greatly appreciated. It's greatly appreciated. Side of Pershing Square.
Canada, Marta, thank you. Love from Michigan, thank you.
You get on the side a minute. Yeah, New York definitely have the most, because man, I haven't seen these crowds for a protest in a while.
Gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. and they all started gathering here in front of City Hall. It did start with a group of about 20 people. It grew to thousands. They started marching down this street that you see here, where these people are moving down as well.
1.4 in the house. Thank you, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Marcia. No, thank you, Marcia. Thank you for being here and watching with me. I know there's a bunch of other things you could be doing. Thank you for the shares, guys. Thank you for the shares, the gifts. Thank you, everybody who's followed so far. Thank all of you. Appreciate you. Trump's wife needs to be protesting too. Love and solidarity from Scotland. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Scotland. I appreciate that. Stand up or get out of the way. Resist now. Thank you for the follow. I see you. Yes, New York, do your thing. Yes, yes, yes. Great turnout. Hi from England. Squish. Thank you for tuning in. No kings, no dictators. Maria from Denmark, thank you for the follow. Jesse, thank you for the follow. Go NYC, says Lisa.
Guys, I'm just walking, trying to get up the block to see what's going on.
Thank you for the heart hands, Jamie. Thank you so much. No kings, no dictator. Love everybody protesting. Be safe.
If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. About an hour ago, this area was full of people, thousands of people, which have now moved down this street, which is Broadway, and they're all marching down Broadway. This is sort of the back end of the group, which is at Broadway and 2nd. If they haven't turned and kept going on Broadway, the front of the group is most likely at Broadway and 8th, which is about 6 blocks from here. So that is how long the group is. It's pretty big group of people. Not sure the number of, but I would assume thousands of people are there. You can tell by even there that they're taking over both sides of the street. This is Broadway between 2nd and 3rd. This is the historic area of Broadway. This is where the Grand Central Market is. Not sure if the Grand Central Market is open this morning. I know the doors are, you're able to walk in from Broadway or from Hill. This is Broadway in downtown Los Angeles between 2nd and 3rd. This group of protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. in front of City Hall. I'll show you City Hall here. Thank you for the rose. This area here, about a little over an hour ago, was full of people. Most of the time, I've noticed that if they start protesting here and they move from here, they tend to end up here, which is where City Hall is. So it's possible that they are walking down this way. I'll look on the news in a minute, and they'll probably have it on the choppers. And if they're walking down this way, they're most likely going to turn either around Pershing Square, which is around 7th, maybe, if they did, and then they're going to come back up. And then either people will start moving on along their way, going home, or most of them will just end up back. They'll probably come back down this street. If not, they're going to come back up one of those streets, but then they'll definitely end up right here again. The federal buildings are all around here. So this building, so let me zoom out a little bit so I can show you. So this here is a federal courthouse right in front. This is Hill, and that's First. Then you've got right there in the middle, that's the LAPD headquarters, I believe. And then you've got behind City Hall, those two buildings are federal buildings. One is like the Immigration Detention Center. This is downtown Los Angeles. That burgundy one is the one where they have a lot of the detainees, and I believe that's where the National Guard is as well. Then that building between City Hall and that Burgundy, that I think is a courthouse, but I know it's a federal building as well. Federal building here, federal buildings there, and then behind those are like the federal courthouses. So a lot of these are state courthouses. So it's all around here. There aren't many residential areas. I think the only one I live at the Grand, which is right next to the Conrad, and those are pretty much the only ones that have that can see into this, because most of these are federal buildings. Like these buildings over here, those are a lot of apartment buildings here. But yeah. And then this is the historic area. So as you can see, the protesters are still walking down Broadway. Thank you for the rose. They don't seem to. Yeah, it seems to be like this little intersection is where they get like squeezed in, because that's where it gets wider, and then because the streets here, especially these little ones where the historic area is, they're not as wide. I almost feel like they're kind of like New York streets almost. And so these people are walking down that street, and again, not sure where they're going to turn, but most likely if they turn, they'll end up back. So that looks like it's almost, that's it. Like it's almost the tail end. But again, the front of that group started a while ago, and if they kept going down Broadway and they didn't turn, now for sure they're at 9th and Broadway. And this here is 2nd and Broadway. So definitely a very long group of people. It does seem like a peaceful protest so far. I haven't heard anything, at least I haven't seen on this side. Not sure what's happening as they're moving through. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning in that park. This area was full earlier. It started with about 20 people. It grew to this, and now a lot of the people are marching down Broadway, headed through the streets of downtown. So now if you are downtown in a car, then you are near this area, you're definitely going to get blocked in or stuck somewhere. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The protesters have moved from this area. They started gathering here in front of this park, in front of City Hall this morning around 8:30 a.m. There were about 20 of them that started the group. The group started growing as more and more people started walking. As you can see, I'll show you down here. They're walking from the different streets of downtown. It looks like this group is either walking towards City Hall, another group there. So this morning, that's how it's been all morning, just people walking towards City Hall. A lot of these people then met up here. This is where it became a huge crowd, thousands of people, which then now all of those people started marching down Broadway. This is the tail end of the group, of the whole group of protesters. This is Broadway and 2nd. The front end of the group is probably from here all the way to 9th and Broadway. So it's a pretty big group. And they did start moving down Broadway over an hour ago. So it took them that long for them to get to here, to the end, to the tail end. But again, it could be that as more people, if people start moving through, you can see more people start joining the back end of the protesters. So even though it looks like, it's slowing down, these people are moving fast enough, so it's creating like a bottleneck here. And then you can see it's crowded, and that's all the way down to like 9th Street. So as more people start joining it, it'll just keep, it's almost like it'll just never end. But on the good end, this has been pretty peaceful protest. This is the view from the Grand. This is from the 42nd floor. I have zoomed in as much as I can. You can probably zoom in more on your end if you want to see. around this area. It's mainly federal buildings or courthouses, and then the Walt Disney Concert Hall is in front of this building, and then you've got the Conrad Hotel next door. But for the most part, it's at the federal building. So, and for the most part, it is pretty peaceful up here because obviously, if there's no, the buildings are closed on the weekends, and however, lately it hasn't been quiet. It's been very, very loud. But this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall right here. That right there is the 101 freeway. You do have constant helicopters that are, flying, LAPD flying around here. I know the last few days there were about, at one point, like 4 or 5 at one time. These are all federal buildings, federal courthouses, like the Immigration Detention Center. That's a federal building. I think like this here is a courthouse on the other side. I think behind that one, those are all courthouses, city buildings, federal courthouse. And then this here is the LAPD headquarters. And then the LAPD has this here, this in the middle here, that's their where they park all their LAPD cars, at least for this area. And as you can see, the crowd is still moving through. Looks like people are, like I said, joining the back end where, as far as where they're coming from, because even you've got this group here. I'm not sure where they're headed. If they're going because maybe they're going to City Hall and then they'll join, because it looks like they have flags. They should just cut through here. You've got the crowd there on Broadway between 2nd and 3rd. This crowd is really huge because it takes up at least I would say 6 blocks. 6 blocks long, and it takes up, as you can tell, the entire street from left to right, the whole block. Probably not the whole block, the whole street, because they're even on the sidewalk. A lot of the businesses down Broadway have, after the looting that happened when they looted the Adidas store, a lot of the businesses began to board up their windows. So as these people are moving through, hopefully nothing's happening. So far, it seems like a peaceful protest. This is where the historic area is. That right there, that building right there on the right that you see with that little circle at the top, that is right next to the Grand Central Market. So all these people are walking in front of, on Broadway. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is the group of protesters that started walking from City Hall, where they gathered and began gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. This is 2nd and Broadway. This is the tail end of the group of people. The group of people is pretty large. I assume they take up about, I would say maybe 6 blocks long, and they take up the whole street. So as you can see here, they're definitely even on the sidewalks. And this right here is Broadway between 2nd and 3rd. It looks like they went up. They turned already. So they went left, and now you can see them. They're walking up. So let me show you. I got to zoom in. If I can. I can't zoom in. Yep, that's it. So do you see them there? They're walking up right there. So that looks like Main. Yeah, that's Main. So they already turned somewhere, and now they're coming back up. So the protesters are going down Broadway. At some point, they're turning left, and then they're coming up right there. You see them? They're walking in front of that parking structure that is for the LAPD. The LAPD headquarters is right here, next to City Hall. This here.
Don't push me. Don't push. Somebody.
Like we're almost to Fifth Avenue, so we'll just wait on the corner, like on the sidewalk. Yeah, so we're
Johnny boy, Johnny boy. That's the New York Public Library over there. Thanks for the gifts, guys. Thanks for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Why everyone hate on New York? New York and thing. Most tax money than all the other states put together. Fifth Avenue, New York. Fifth Avenue, New York. Share the live, like the live, share the live. Thanks for the gifts, everyone. Wow. The drone footage on this must be crazy. Look
If you're just joining us, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of the City Hall area where the federal buildings are. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30. If you live or if you're on your way to downtown area,
Going downtown LA, Los Angeles, California.
this is in front of City Hall. This crowd here just started gathering or coming from that north side of Spring, which is closer to the 101. There are people that are traveling south of here. They're moving down Broadway. This is the tail end of the group. Those people were moving with the larger group. That group already either turned down there, but it looks like, yeah, either they're still traveling south or they turned. Then you've got
Yo, Matt, we're gonna get unstable connection right now.
Like the heat, huh? Yeah.
The heat. I mean, a lot of people on their cell phones right now.
Huh?
A lot of people on their cell phones. It's oversaturated.
Hey, what's that name of that song? Look.
Right here, guys. City Hall chat. We're here, right in front of City Hall. Nicole. Let's go, Tom. Nice to meet you, Nicole.
Hi, nice to meet you.
My name is Kelvin.
Hi, yeah, nice to meet you too.
I see you're an immigrant, but where are you from?
I'm from Germany.
Germany. I only know how to say Guten Morgen.
Oh, that's very good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you from Berlin?
Hamburg.
Hamburg,
so close
okay.
by.
Yes.
Northern Germany.
I know that thanks to the soccer team. I watch a lot of soccer. So that's how I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you born in?
I was born here, but from Mexican parents.
Yeah.
Mexico.
I'm sorry.
No, but I'm glad you're here to support us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Can I give you a hug?
Hey, Paul, this is something that my grandpa would like.
That's okay, Nicole. Everything will be all right. But thanks for showing up, for supporting. Okay, take care.
Thank you too.
All right, let's go. Show Germany. No, we're not gonna show her face, chat. She was very beautiful, bro. That's why I went up to her. Yeah. Churros, get your churros, chat. $5, get your churros.
Cinco los churros. FTV is still on the other side. FTV.
You know where to spot him?
Oh yeah, I know you get a big beard. He knows me. He knows me too.
Yo! What the heck, bro? Yo! Oh my god! They're trolling, bro.
Who the heck put that up there, bro?
Trump's kiss ass. That's
Oh
what.
my god.
Trump's little lapdog.
It said happy birthday, Daddy Trump. Go Ice. That is crazy. It says happy birthday, Daddy Trump. I mean, King Trump. King Trump. That's what it said.
Hall. You've got earlier. This was full with that. You wouldn't see any of that green grass. It was full with people, but the majority of those people are now marching through the city. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. You're looking at City Hall. That's the front of City Hall, and all those people are in the streets. That is Spring Street between First and Temple, and they're flowing into that park, which is the Grand Molina Park. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters in this area started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. A lot of them are marching now through the streets of downtown. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning. There was a huge crowd, thousands of people by 10 a.m. At which point, at around 10:30, they started heading south on Broadway through the streets of Los Angeles. Not certain if they turned anywhere or if they're still moving through those streets, but then another group started moving in. As you see now, it's starting to grow, and all these people are coming from North Spring, which is the street right there that is right in front of City Hall. In those arches that you see there in the back, that's where they have the LAPD stationed. They are guarding that entrance. So those steps there, normally you would see protesters on those steps with like those megaphones. But there are barricades there, so they can't go up there, and they've got the LAPD blocking it. They've been stationed there for the last few days. Thank you for joining. This is downtown Los Angeles in front of City Hall. Thank you for the likes. There are definitely people now walking from different directions to City Hall. Yeah, it looks like I can see on the news that they are definitely at Fifth. So there's a huge crowd at Fifth and on Broadway. So yeah, they're definitely. So then there's definitely more than one group of people in downtown that are moving through. So this group that you see here is one. There's another huge group that is currently right now on Broadway in Fifth area, and then I don't know if there's a third. But then beyond that, you now have all of these people that are moving through here. So these people are actually walking probably to City Hall, in addition to the groups that are, this group that's there and the other group. So there's more people walking there. That's Broadway. You've got people down here. This is Hill. They're walking uphill. Several people walking uphill down there. 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 People headed towards City Hall. They're coming in different directions, in addition to, again, these two big groups that are moving up through downtown.
Keeps going. As much as we've been out here for over 2 hours now, and it is so hot. It is so hot, and we have quite a long walk back to the car.
It's like the whole thing.
I mean, hell, we're probably going to be seeing protesters all the way to our car at this point. There are still people coming in. Love you, T.
Oh, great song.
See our American flags here flying. With the No King sign on it.
This is a one of two groups that I know of that I can see in downtown. As you can see, people are still moving through the streets. They're walking up. This is Hill. They're walking uphill. There's a bunch of people right there on the corner of Hill and Second who are about to cross the street. They're walking up. So it looks like they're either headed to City Hall. Not certain if these people were part of the group earlier that went down marching down Broadway here. They were marching down Broadway. And then they're coming back up. Or if it's a new group that, is joining the protests. But as you can see, there's even more people walking down this way. This is Hill.
It's a bitch to get in and out of downtown LA, but there's so much to do down here on your lunch break, after work. And I worked here pre 9/11. I just left the company I worked for when 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened. But it changed so much after 9/11. Like, you can't get in this building without. It's got tons of security. Back when I worked there, you just walked in and went to your office. Now you gotta go through all kinds of security. It's a cool building. Cool place to work. Just getting here. Whew. Company wanted to send me to Century City to work, and fortunately it was high up enough where I could say nope. Where I sadly would have to send some of my employees.
it'll definitely be these souls. All this will be full of people. All these streets. It'll be almost like how it was during the Dodger parade. If you're just joining us, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is City Hall, where we have, I would say, half of the people that are in downtown are here, and maybe the other half are marching through the streets. I know there's a huge group of people right now in front of, or in the around 5th and Broadway.
Somos 2K, amigos, somos 2K. Gracias chicos por los regalitos. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Estamos en la protesta aquí del centro de Los Ángeles. Gracias por ese corazoncito, chicos. Gray, gracias por el objetivo. Gracias, chicos. Síganme a los que están tirando rositas, chicos. Síganme a los que están dando el apoyo. Tap y compartiendo. Somos 2.2, chicos. Somos 2.2K. Gracias, mods. Thank you, brother. Gracias, chicos. Gracias. Síganme al top. Gracias, beso. Gracias, amigos. Gracias. Gracias por el apoyo, chicos. ¿Dónde es? Es en la calle Figueroa y la 2, aquí en el centro de Los Ángeles, chicos. Hay demasiado apoyo hacia la gente hispana, chicos. Hay mucho apoyo. Síganme a Nox. Gracias por los regalitos, brother. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Somos 2.4. Gracias, chicos. Sí, yo estoy ahí, solo que me vine aquí hasta el frente para agarrar una buena toma de la gente. Ahorita me cambio de lugar. Gracias, dos, por esa pistolita. Gracias, chicos. Hey, síganme al top 1, Del 1 al 10, síganme del 1 al 10. Síganme a Not, síganme a Gray, a Babi, a Estrellita, a Irito, Jorge, Leticia, Lore, Yolanda, Carlos, Mónica, Yasmín. Gracias, chicos, por todo el apoyo que me están dando. Ya somos 3K, chicos, somos 3K. Somos 3K, tap y compartiendo. Gracias, Estrella. Síganme, chicos, síganme. Síganme también a los que están tirando regalitos, chicos. Gracias, Dulce, Beats. Gracias por las rositas.
Is going uphill. They started this morning around 8:30 a.m. gathering with about 20 people in front of City Hall. By 10 a.m. there were thousands of people. By 10:30 they started moving through the streets. They started marching down Broadway. It's possible this is the group that went down Broadway and now they're coming back uphill. And it looks like as they're moving through, they're going to come back up and they're going to join everyone else that is already at City Hall. So if they walk up this way, they're going to join everyone that's already here at City Hall. Thank you for joining. This is downtown LA in California. Looks like thousands of protesters are filling the streets of downtown, specifically in this area.
Gracias por el regalito, Ceci. Gracias, Gray. Gracias, chicos. Chicos, sigue pasando la gente y no se acaba, sigue pasando, es demasiada gente la que vino a protestar el día de hoy, es demasiada gente. Gracias por esa gorrita, gracias Señor por ese estrellita, gracias chicos por los regalitos, no, gracias, síganme al top chicos, síganme al top. Síganme los que están ahí dando regalitos, chicos, porque están apoyando esta cuenta. Gracias, chicos. Los que están dando tap y compartiendo, muchísimas gracias. Gracias, User, por tu primer regalo. Gracias, chicos, por esos rosones. Gracias, chicos. Ya somos 3.8, chicos. Ya casi somos 4,000 personas viendo el en vivo. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Gracias por el apoyo. Gracias, Notes. Thank you, brother. Thank you for gifts. Gracias, chicos. No, gracias por los regalitos, chicos. Muchas gracias. Ceseña, gracias. Síganme al top, chicos. Síganme al top. Somos 4.1K ahorita. 4.1K. Gracias por las gorritas. Gracias por los regalitos, chicos. Síganme al top, chicos. Síganme al top. Gracias por el apoyo. Gracias por los que están dando tap, los que están compartiendo, chicos. Muchas gracias. Síganme también si gustan seguirme. Activen la campanita. Así cuando me vuelva a conectar, les llega la notificación. Gracias, Pico. Gracias, Pico. Gracias, brother. Gracias por esos regalitos. Estrellita, gracias. Gracias por la rosita, chicos. Gracias, brother. Síganme al top, chicos. Síganme al top. Gracias, la tía, por esa rosquilla. Somos 4.5, chicos. Tap y compartiendo, tap y compartiendo. Vean, la cantidad de gente sigue pasando y hay demasiada más atrás. Gracias por sus regalitos, chicos. Gracias por el quiéreme, déjenme el quiéreme. Gracias, Not, por esa galaxia. Gracias, chicos. Síganme a Not. Está en el top 1. Gracias por todo el apoyo, chicos. Gracias, Not. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Ya casi somos 200K de tap, chicos. Gracias por todo el apoyo. 4.8K de Gracias, chicos. Gracias. Síganme, chicos. Síganme. Thank you, Rods. Thank you, brother. Ya somos 5K. Ya somos 5K, chicos. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Gracias por los regalitos, chicos. Gracias por las rositas. Gracias por los corazoncitos. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Gracias, Pico, por el quiéreme, brother. Déjenme todos el quiéreme, chicos. Déjenme el quiéreme. Déjenme el quiéreme, chicos. Gracias.
And then move through the city, and then they come back, and then they end at City Hall. So pretty soon, we're going to see this area full. If everybody ends up here. Thank you for the likes. This is Los Angeles. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is the area, specifically the area where a lot of the activity has been happening. I know that maybe a lot of people hear on the news that like it's all of LA or California is burning. It tends to just really be around here, this little area, where the federal buildings are. This is the area also that has the curfew. Our curfew is from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's not all of Los Angeles, and I believe it's not also all of downtown. I think it's just like a part of downtown. Yeah, now with the curfew, it has been less. It's been more quiet. But as you can see here, there's still, you still have all these people down here that are walking up. They're walking uphill. So that's what I'm saying. That area is gonna get full pretty soon with all these people. And then you even have more people coming back there. But it looks like those cars, once we see those cars move, then I think they can cross, but if they're still there, they haven't moved. Unless they're, yeah, maybe that's it. But all these people here, yeah, they're coming up, they're going to join. And then you've got, like I said, other streets, like there are people walking from here up. And that's just from this section. I can't see obviously on the other side because I'm on this side. But like, let's see, they're all walking out. That's Hill. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is where all the federal buildings are. This is where City Hall is, where all the protesting has been happening lately. This is City Hall right here. That's City Hall. That's the front area of City Hall. And then here is where the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. Thank you for the likes. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for the likes. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where protesters started gathering this morning around.
Gracias, chicos. Gracias por las rositas. Gracias por todo el apoyo, chicos. Somos casi 7,000 personas, chicos. Ya somos 7,000 personas. Gracias por ese sombrerito. Gracias, Díaz. Gracias, Yolanda. Gracias, Olga. Síganme el top del top 1 al 20. Síganme del top 1, del 1 al 20, del 1 al 20. Síganme los chicos. Váyanme siguiendo del top del 1 al 20. Somos 6,900. Somos 7,000 personas. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Somos 7,000 personas, chicos. Gracias por el apoyo. Gracias, muchas gracias por el apoyo, chicos.
Allá viene el bebé. El bebé, el bebé.
Oye, el amarillo, ¿va? Gracias, Notes. Gracias, Notes. Gracias, chicos. Gracias por los regalitos. Somos 7,000 personas ya, chicos. Somos 7,000. Tap y compartiendo. Vamos a llegar a los 10,000. Vamos a llegar a los 10,000 personas, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Gracias, Nos, por esas gorritas. Gracias, chicos, por los regalitos. Tap y compartiendo. Estamos aquí en las protestas de Los Ángeles por lo que ocurrió, por las redadas masivas que ha habido en estos días. Aquí la gente ya se está manifestando. Se empezó desde el día viernes, pero ahorita ha sido una masiva, es una marcha masiva y demasiada gente. Hay mucha gente. Gracias por el apoyo, chicos. Gracias, chicos, gracias por el apoyo. Tap y compartiendo, tap y compartiendo. Vamos a seguir subiendo, somos 6,600 personas. Cheers. Gracias, chicos, gracias. Tap y compartiendo, chicos, tap y compartiendo. Síganme, chicos, síganme. No sean cabrones, síganme. Somos 6 puntos. Gracias, Nos. Gracias, chicos, por los regalos. Gracias por los regalitos. Gracias, Josmar. Gracias, brother. Gracias, Josmar, por los regalitos. Síganme el top, chicos. Síganme los que están del 1 al 20, chicos. Síganme al top, síganme al top. Hay que apoyarlos también. Ellos apoyan la cuenta. Hay que apoyarlos también. Síganlos, chicos, síganlos. Y síganme a mí también. Síganme a mí, chicos. Este es Perro Barumo Noticias. Allá viene Donald Trump en pequeñito. Somos 7.2, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Tap y compartiendo. Creo que bebé Donald Trump va a pegar allá en la luz. Somos 7.3, chicos, 7.3. Denle tap y compartan, chicos, tap y compartan. Gracias, user. Gracias por los regalitos, chicos. 7.4. A ver, chicos, todos tirando regalitos de una moneda, todos tirando regalitos de una moneda, chicos. Gracias, chicos, gracias. Síganme los que están tirando regalitos de una moneda. Síganme los que están tirando regalitos pequeñitos. Gracias, chicos, por el quéreme. Somos 7.6, chicos, 7.6. Gracias por esa rosquita, chicos. Gracias por esa rosquita. Ahí viene el bebé Donald Trump. Gracias por los que me están dejando el quéreme, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Gracias por los regalitos, chicos. Gracias por los regalitos. Todos tirando los... Somos 8,000 personas, chicos. Cositas. Ok, nos vamos a pasar del otro lado. Aquí ya pasaron todos. Vamos a encontrarlos de ese lado. Todos tirando rositas, chicos, solo tirando rositas. No tiren regalos grandes, solo tirando rositas, chicos. Somos 8.3, ahorita ya nos vamos. La cantidad que asistió el día de hoy y la verdad son miles de personas los que vinieron. Gracias por esas rositas, chicos, solo tirando rositas. No quieran seguirme, síganme, activen la campanita y vamos a seguir transmitiendo de aquí hasta que se acabe, chicos. Estoy dando
Gracias chicos por las compartidas. Somos 8,200 personas viendo este en vivo. Denle tap tap y compar. Que nos han apoyado, la verdad nos han apoyado mucho. Tap tap y compartiendo chicos. Mira, aquí ya nos vamos a incorporar porque ya casi la mayoría de la gente ya pasó. Solo nos vamos a ir con ellos y vamos a ver hasta dónde va a ir a terminar. Tap y compartiendo y ahorita nos vamos. Solo rositas, chicos, solo rositas, solo rositas. Gracias, Renata. Y síganme a mi cuenta, por favor. Síganme a mi cuenta, chicos. Sigan la cuenta, sigan la cuenta. Sigan la cuenta. Síganme los que están tirando regalitos pequeños, chicos. La Estatua de la Libertad. Yeah. Fuck Donald Trump. Está compartiendo, chicos.
Vamos a alcanzar al bebé Trump, que va hasta allá. Está compartiendo. Síganme, chicos, síganme esta cuenta, síganme esta cuenta. Ya tenemos 500,000 de tap tap, chicos. Vamos a subir más, somos 6.9. Tap tap y compartiendo. Saludos, Big Boy. Bienvenido. Síganme los que están del top 1 al top 20, chicos. Síganme los que están del top 1 al 20.
You know, it's a peaceful protest. I don't know about other areas of downtown or what else is, going on, but as far as from what I can see here. This is downtown Los Angeles, the 101 freeway. They've got a balloon up there. It says, I can't see, it says HBO, no, HBD messages. And I can't zoom in any further. If you're just joining, this is in front of City Hall here. They started this morning around 8:30, then they started marching through the streets. Now they have come back and are all headed back to City Hall. Looks like a lot of them went up this. It looks like that is like a giant constitution, possibly, or something like that. I can't tell. From what I can see here, it's been peaceful. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is Hill. Everybody is
protesters that started earlier at City Hall and then walked down Broadway. They, I don't know where they turned, but they turned around and now they're coming back. And then you've got a bunch of people on the other throughout the streets down here. This is another group. So it looks like at City Hall. Here you've got everybody going uphill. They've turned on First. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is pretty soon, right here in that little area where those trees are, you're going to see all these protesters turning, unless they turn right here, there, and turn right there on. I think that's Spring. So everyone is down here turning, and they're even walking up hill. So Pacific Center metro stations. And then they're walking through Grand Park to the City Hall area here, that's the front of City Hall. They've been stationed there for the last few days, 24 hours guarding the entrance of City Hall. That's why people can't go up those steps because there's a blockade. You've got a bunch of most of the people are either turning right, going uphill, turning right on First, or heading straight uphill, and then they're going up. Everyone here in front of City Hall. This is where all the federal buildings are downtown. This is where if you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of me in the morning. It was about 20 people in this little grass area. By 10 o'clock, it grew to thousands of people. By 10:30, they started moving through the streets. Now starting to move back uphill to City Hall. So as you can see, all these people are in Second Street. That right there, that little area there, that's where the Grand Central Market is. This is the Broadway historic metro station. A lot of people came via metro, I believe. There's new metro stations out of this area without having to deal with the parking situation. The majority of the group is moving up now. Hill, either take over this whole area here on Hill, or they're taking and turning into this other little section here, but it sounds like soon this, because there's still people coming uphill. Intersection of Hill and Second. These protesters started at City Hall around 10:30. Once the groups were big and it was about thousands of people, then they started moving through the streets, heading south on Broadway, and this is Hill. So they've been moving through here for the last few minutes. The majority of them are going uphill, and there are little pockets. So there's a little area group that's gathering over here. There's another group that's gathered And then obviously the bigger group is right here in front of City Hall.
Shalia and Debbie, thank you so much. Let me give you a follow, Debbie. Thank you, guys. Do you guys see how diverse the crowd is? Like I told you guys when we got here, right? Probably the most diverse protest we've ever, or not ever, because all of them are like this, but this group 50 for 50 is always this diverse, old, young, black, white, different religions, cultures, creeds. Somebody said how many people. I had heard earlier reports of 30,000. From what we've seen so far, I want to guess and say around at least 50,000. At least 50,000 people we've seen so far. And with the line, I could see it's like it's not even close to ending. Sid, thank you. Let me give you a follow. Thank you, Sid. I see you, and I appreciate you. Let's go. NYC will always
Tempo. Estamos sobre la calle Tempo. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap y compartiendo. Compartan, chicos, compartan. Tap y compartiendo, chicos. Tap. Síganme, chicos, síganme, chicos. Síganme y active la campanita. Síganme y active la campanita, chicos. Síganme y active la campanita. Me voy a desconectar un ratito, pero en un rato regreso. Síganme los que no me han seguido, síganme. Y en un rato regreso. Voy a hacer algo rapidito y ahorita regreso otra vez a transmitir. Porque esto no se va a acabar ahorita. Esto se va a acabar muy tarde. Esto se va a acabar muy tarde. Los que no me han...
Are City Hall, the courthouses. This is the area where the curfew is. So by 8 p.m., all these people, unless they live here or work here, if they're here, that's when they can start to get arrested. At least they've been doing that for the last few days. But they haven't necessarily done it right at 8. I think I've seen it start like around 8:30ish. They do start pushing them out of this area around 7:30. But yeah, but definitely after 8, if these people are here, it could get they could get arrested because the curfew hasn't ended yet. This is in front of City Hall. Now, as you can see, it's getting more full. That grass is now getting covered, so you at one point you're not going to be able to see because all these people are not there yet. They're joining. So at some point, that grass is going to not be visible. It'll just be people. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. If you're just joining, a lot of these protesters got here after around after 10, but it started around 8:30 a.m. with about 20 of them that were in that grass area that you can barely see now, right there in front of City Hall. By 10, it was thousands of people. By 10:30, they started marching through the streets, and now the majority of the protesters throughout downtown are starting to walk back to the City Hall area. As you can see right there, there's a large group coming up Broadway. And then down here, this is a large group that's moving through Hill. They're going uphill. So the majority of them already went up. Now this is like the back of the group. The groups got smaller there, and now you can see that that's third right there, where the underground tunnel third, and it's about to cross Hill. Now the cars are moving, so it looks like they've already passed through. But now all these people are still joining the crowds, and as you can see, this is Broadway and Second. There's still even people walking up from there to City Hall, but the majority of them are already closer to there. As you can see here, they're going up. They're going uphill, but then there is a big group here that is sort of hanging out right there, as you can see right there. And then you've got another group here. This is downtown Los Angeles, if you're just joining, where the federal buildings are, where the protesting started. No, there are no food trucks. Most places are closed. I don't think there are definitely no food trucks around this area. It's possible that on Grand or on streets that are like further west or east of here, there may be, but I haven't seen any food trucks, and most businesses are closed. I know that there is a Starbucks at a Grand Park, and that Starbucks has pretty much been closed all week for the last few days. And I don't even think the app works because I tried ordering on the app and it doesn't even work. It doesn't let you. So it's really affected a lot of the businesses around here because a lot of the people that work, like they either work in the office or work from home. On a Thursday, usually there's a lot of people in downtown. That's the day a lot of people work in the office. But this week it was pretty empty during the lunchtime. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Yeah, the unfortunate part of too is also the graffiti. There's been a lot of graffiti downtown, and especially in this area where the federal buildings are. So, but today and for now, it seems very peaceful. Okay, so it looks like there's like officers walking down here. You see them? They're like lined up right there. You see them on the sidewalk. They're moving through, and it either looks like National Guard. I don't know if they're standing right there protecting the federal courthouse, but they were just walking right there in the front. Yeah, so they're basically standing behind those trees right there on the sidewalk. Probably going to be live maybe in another half hour. I'm not certain. I think this is supposed to. Well, I mean, technically this should be over. I think by they said 2, but I don't know. I mean, again, 8 o'clock is the curfew, so as long as I don't know if that, yeah, they'll be able to arrest that many people if everybody stays. But yeah, by 8 o'clock, it should be gone. People should be, unless they live here. There were several events that were planned downtown last weekend, or maybe or maybe tonight was the first night, and that got postponed. So a lot of events and things have been postponed. You're looking at the front part of City Hall. This is City Hall here. To the left of that road, that is the 101 freeway. This is City Hall. This is the area where the federal buildings are. This is definitely where the curfew is. There's not a lot of but it's next to Little Tokyo, and there's a lot of apartments in Little Tokyo, so a lot of the people around here, because of the curfew, have had to, work around that. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. There are people that are still walking up. This is the corner of Hill and First. That there that you see is the federal courthouse, which has been fenced, and there are either National Guard, Marines, or guarding the buildings. This is North Hill. People have started walking up, and they've gathered right here. This is the exits. There are 2 exits. That's one of them. And this is Grand Park, where in front of City Hall in downtown Los Angeles, people have been walking through the various areas of downtown, and now they're starting to walk back to this area. As you can see, those people walking up Broadway. They're going north on there. This is Broadway. I'm sorry, Hill and First. You have people walking up, and this is Hill and Second, as you can see there. But earlier, this whole area was overtaken by people because you couldn't even the street, the sidewalks. There, and that's right there is the historic Broadway Metro Center or station. And those people are walking, headed towards City Hall like everyone here. If you're just joining, this is down to where all the federal and city buildings are. This is where protesters started gathering this morning around 8. About a group of 20. At 8:30, by 10 a.m., it's thousands of people. And then by 10:30, they started moving through the streets. And now it looks like a lot of them are areas that they were walking south of here. This is Hill. These people are walking north on Hill. This is the intersection of Hill and First in downtown Lowell. To the left at the top, you've got the 101 freeway, which you can see it's moving pretty smoothly. So luckily they haven't, no one's walked over and blocked that area. Out of here. So hopefully at that point it'll stay peaceful. It's peaceful here as far as I can tell.
from what I can see, I don't, hear any like people running or like, anything crazy happening. So it looks peaceful around here so far from what I've seen. This is in front of City Hall. We do hear some sirens now. There's a few sirens now. This is probably the first time I've heard it in a while. You've got thousands of people downtown now, like all in the streets, mainly around this area where the federal buildings are, where city protesters started gathering this morning around around 8:30 a.m. Right there, you can't see it now, but you can barely see a patch of it. But there's some grass there. But now, obviously, it's covered by thousands. By 10:30, they started moving through. This is Los Angeles, California. This is downtown Los Angeles. And by 10:30, people started moving through the streets, the various streets of downtown, mainly through the historic area, Broadway, Hill. I see a lot of people moving north on Hill. The meeting area for all of them is going to be here, City Hall. I'm not able to hear if there's anybody's cameras down there, somebody else is live or the news, but it looks like everyone is gathering at City Hall. They started this morning. People, a lot of them have already moved through the various streets of downtown, and now they're starting to move back. It looks like on the news there are people that are on the one, not on the freeway, obviously, but on the bridge. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. I'm not able to zoom in any further, sorry. This is the view from the 42nd floor at the Grand, next to the Conrad. Protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 in the morning. There were about 20 people joining the area, and then around 10:30 they started moving through the streets. And now you've got the majority of people heading back to City Hall. You can see here, and people are walking north on Hill. It's likely they're all joining everyone at the City Hall, but there are two groups. There's I think they've all moved in already. So then, and as you can see right there, they're walking up right there. That's Broadway. So they're starting to move up the. This is downtown Los Angeles. Where the federal buildings are, more of it. That's City Hall that you see there, and that's all the people, thousands of people. You can see them moving through the streets. Now they really look really tiny, but you can see them moving through the streets. This is Hill.
That is Broadway and 2nd. Hill and 2nd, and you see people walking up. They're really tiny there because I zoomed out. And then this is again the view from the 42nd floor at the Grand. It's a little taller too because we're on a hill, Bunker Hill, so it makes it a little taller than that. And this is just me zooming out, so I can zoom in now so you can see a little closer. So these are people walking uphill. This is the intersection of Hill and 2nd. Thank you for the likes. All these people are walking uphill. Most likely people that were part of the group earlier that had started walking through the various streets of downtown. It looks like now they're all starting to head back this way to join everyone that is here at City Hall. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Happy to share this with everyone. I know there's really not any other residential buildings next to these federal buildings. And this one that I live in, the Grand, is I think the tallest one next to it. So I pretty much see a lot of the activity. Before today, there's always activity happening to here, but I wanted to make sure that, I shared this with everyone because, again, there's not a lot of residential buildings. So unless you work in these federal buildings, you can't record this stuff. But thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. This is downtown Los Angeles in front of the City Hall, and these are all
Trump has got to go! New York! Donald Trump has got to go! 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 Donald Trump has got to go!
Can you guys see the bubbles? Jabby, thank you for the rose. Cassie D, respect. Katie is sending love from the UK. We're sending love right back at you from New York. Appreciate you, beautiful. Guys, it was expected to be at least 30,000. I'll say right now, from what I've seen, I want to say it's more like 50,000 so far and counting. Wow, guys. Wow. 1.1 thousand new followers. 1.1 new followers. 1,100 new followers on this live stream, guys. Thank you guys so much. Completely insane, guys. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys so much. 1.1 thousand new followers. You guys are out of this world, guys. Thank you so much. Whoa, what did somebody just send a sun? Thank you guys. I wasn't looking at the screen. Oh my God. Could one of the mods pin whoever sent that? Whoa. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you for all the love, all the support today, guys. It's been amazing. Everybody follow if you have not followed yet. We cover all protests in New York. The ones that are too crazy for TikTok, we do it on YouTube. We are at the P. Diddy trial every Monday to Friday from before court to end of court. So appreciate you guys, love you guys, and enjoy. Whoa, that was a globe. Somebody sent like a fortune teller globe. Thank you guys. We are going crazy today. Almost 300 different gifters. Thank you guys. It's a nice umbrella. Check out that umbrella, guys. Cute little umbrella. Graham is love from the UK. I appreciate you. Thank you for the rainbow love. I appreciate you guys. I see you guys.
Likely that a lot of people did come via metro because we've got, like right there, that is a metro station. 2 years ago, we got 3 new metro stations in this area. And that allows people to come from various areas of Los Angeles. They can come from the east side, they can come from Santa Monica, they can come from Long Beach, from Pasadena. And that allows them to come here without having to worry about parking. So it's likely that a lot of people did take metro today, which is why there's a lot of people here, because otherwise I don't know where these people would park because there's no parking. This used to be a parking lot here, and it's now construction. That right there is an open lot, but it looks like they closed it. But normally this is where a lot of the people that go to the courthouse, the park. And then at one point, this was a parking lot, but the music school next door, the Colburn School, purchased it, and now they're building like another thing, you can see that that's where they're going to have the concerts. So there's no parking down here for all these people. So most of them came. They either live down here or they came via metro. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the protesters have now gathered after either marching through the streets or just joining everyone from, coming to downtown. A lot of the protesters started in City Hall area, started here. They started gathering around 8:30 a.m. this morning. By 10 a.m., it was thousands of people. By 10:30, they were moving through the streets of downtown. And now the majority of them have headed back and are now here at City Hall. And people are still moving through the streets, headed back up to City Hall. The curfew does start at 8 p.m. again. So hopefully a lot of the people that are here will have left the area by then. If not, at that point, I think if they see groups of people, that's when they start hurting them and cornering them, or and then eventually arresting them. You do hear a lot of horns honking. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but now I'm hearing like fire trucks, sirens, and that's constant downtown, and especially in this area, that's been happening a lot lately. It's normal downtown to hear that, but lately it's been a lot more constant, and especially because the police cars, the police motorcycles, they move around downtown in groups. And when they move in group, they have all their lights on and their sirens, so it makes it even louder. But that's been lately most of what's been you've been hearing, and also the helicopters. So right now you can't hear them because they're a little high, but there are 3 helicopters that are hovering in this area. And one of them is an LAPD, and I believe that the ones that are lower are the LAPD ones, and the ones that are much higher, I think that's the news. This is downtown Los Angeles. You're looking at the front part of City Hall, where protesters have now gathered after most of them started here this morning around 8:30. By 10:30, they started moving through the streets, and now they've all come back up to this area, which now slowly they're starting to move back up. The majority of them are already here, but as you can see, like look at that street there in the middle. That's Broadway. They're coming up Broadway, and then down here you can see this group. So this is a group that looks like they're marching. This is another little march protesting group because they have their flags, and they look like as a group. So that's what was happening earlier. There were a bunch of different groups of people throughout, and then they joined together, and then now they started to all come back up here. Yeah, here there is no. Our building has parking, but there is nowhere like this parking structure. I would assume that I don't know why the person that owns it didn't like open it up today, but it's locked. Like I don't even think you can drive in. And there's really nowhere to park. I mean, I think there's one down here. Like you can see it right next to right there. It's right there, and that one is like a cheap one, but that's outside. That's probably the cheapest one. And then you've got this parking lot right here. People can park there, and that's normally where people go when they go to the Grand Central Market, because the Grand Central Market has their own parking lot. But other than that, it's like little parking lots that are around here. But I don't. And then there's one here for the metro station, but it looks like that was closed. That's the historic Broadway metro station. So yeah, so I don't know where all these people would park. So now it looks like they're starting to move. Let's see, and it looks like hopefully they're not moving North Spring, because that is now where the 101 is. If they start moving that way, and it looks like maybe they are, I can't tell. Yeah, part of them are starting to slightly move to the left up there, up that little Spring Street. So if that's the case, yeah, that's where the 101 is. You hear a lot of cheering, a lot of horns honking, helicopters. But again, it doesn't seem like it seems peaceful around here, as far as I can see. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall that you're seeing here. This is where the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30, and by 10 o'clock there was thousands of people. At that point, they started moving through downtown, and other people started joining different groups. And now slowly all the different groups are starting to head back to City Hall. And now, as you can see, the crowd is getting larger here, but it does seem like they're probably going to move again from here, because that has happened before, where I've seen protesting, not just for now, but other protests happen. They will come back to City Hall and then walk, and then come back and keep walking. So they're doing more, because technically we have till 8 o'clock. Once 8 o'clock happens, that's the curfew, and but then they people that don't live in this area or don't work here, unless if they're in a group, that's when the police starts to ask them to leave. It's possible they could take over the freeway, because there are a lot of them. And the freeway is to the left of this, north of that, on that street that they are right there in front of City Hall. That spring, just like 2 blocks from there is the 101, as you can see it right there. So it's up there. So it's up this little street. It's behind these buildings. And usually right there in the middle, you can see those little cars moving. That's like, yeah, right there. There's an exit there. So if what was blocked, you start to see the police lights around there in the middle right there. Those cars are moving. But all these people, yeah, if they do walk up that way, unless they're going to go to Placita Olvera, they're not. Yeah, I mean there it's also it's not as big as here, and it'll be really crowded. But if they do move up that way, it's possible that I would assume some of them will try to go onto the freeway. But I'm certain that there's already police there blocking. So it looks like there's already a crowd, and I can't see it, and I can't zoom in. I'm sure you guys probably can, but behind there, that black building right in front, you can see people there. I don't know if that's the building where that's where the immigration detention center, which is this building, this burgundy building is. If that's the street, then that I don't know if they're all headed over there. But that's another big group that's over there. So, and it looks like this group is starting to slowly move up spring. So it's possible that they are getting closer to the 101. The news would probably show it. Usually when they get to the 101, it's always on the news. This is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. This is where the majority of the protesters are now. This crowd is starting to get a little smaller because they're starting to move. A lot of them have headed north on Spring. There, you can see we're moving. Some of them are still there. People are walking around, and they're. It looks like they're marching in different little groups throughout, because down here you've got a group right there with those flags that's moving together. This is the intersection of Hill and First. I live on the 42nd floor. This is the Grand, the building next to the Conrad Hotel. It's one of the only residential buildings that is right next to these federal buildings. And because of how high it is, and it's also on a hill, then it allows for me to see this. So I wanted to make sure that I share this with everyone that's watching, that I can join. Hi, neighbor. Thank you for joining, everybody. This is downtown. This is the view from the 42nd floor of the Grand. And as you can see here, this is the front of City Hall, Grand Park Molina, where a lot of the protesters started gathering this morning around 8:30 a.m. At that point, it was about 20 people. It got to about thousands of people by 10 a.m. Then that's when they all started moving through the various streets of downtown. And now it appears that most of them, the majority of them, have come back to this area, have reconvened here, and now are moving around here. Behind this building, kind of above this, you can see at the top, there's another little group behind City Hall. So I don't know if that's where a lot of the ones that are moving from here are moving back there. But that's closer to the 101. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. The Westin, which one's the Westin? No, the one that's close by to the hotel that's closer by, I believe, is the DoubleTree. And that one is right by the Little Tokyo. I think the Westin's maybe more west than from here, unless it's in Little Tokyo, and I don't remember. But yeah, but the DoubleTree I know for sure. This is downtown Los Angeles. Yeah, there's thousands of people. This is as much as I can zoom in. Sorry about that. I think you might be able to zoom in on your end. Thank you for the likes and thank you for the shares. A lot of these people started around, not a lot because there were only 20 around 8:30 in the morning, but by around 10 is when a lot of the people started showing up. So at that point, thousands of people were here. And now it's clearly definitely thousands. They've been moving through the streets. They've been marching. They went south on Broadway around after 10 a.m. A lot of them moved through. Now they've headed back up here. Now they are, looks like gathered around here. And it doesn't appear that it's going to end anytime soon. Although we do have the curfew that starts at 8 p.m. So by that point, this area definitely is part of the curfew. So if you don't leave the area unless you live here or work here, then that's when you could get arrested. If you're just joining, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is in front of City Hall. Protesters have been here since started gathering around 8:30 in the morning. By now, there's thousands of people in the streets. They're still headed up the various streets here. You've got people walking. This is the intersection of Hill and First. And you've got people walking uphill. You've got a group of people walking uphill here. And this is the intersection of Hill and Second. You definitely have a bunch of people walking up there. That's where you have one of the metro stations. This is the historic Broadway metro station. And then up here, you've got Little Tokyo in this little area. Behind that building, it's the top of that little brown. That's the DoubleTree that I was mentioning. And then, like I said, that's the metro, one of the metro stations. So a lot of the people most likely came via metro because there's no parking down here. I mean, there is, but there isn't. And as you can see, a lot of people are still there. But back there, I can't zoom in any further. It's in the middle behind that black building. It appears there's a lot of people back there as well. So not sure if there's a group that is joining this group or that's part of this group that went back there. But now you're getting closer to the 101 over here. So it appears that the 101 is flowing, so it's not blocked. And then there's also a section of the metro. It just passed. I don't know if you saw it. It passed over the 101. If you ride that metro, and I think it's the blue line, as soon as you pass the 101, it passes by the area where the protesters are, where the National Guard is. So you're able to see it because you're higher above. Yeah, the National Guard looks like it's still here. And I believe that originally the order the judge gave was till noon on Friday, and then it got moved to Tuesday. So that's why they're still here. It doesn't seem like it's too hot. No, I think it's probably like it's in the 70s. No, actually, no, it's 82. But there's a lot of a cloud, so maybe the sun's not as intense. So yeah, there's definitely no. If you're still like planning to come downtown to protest, that there is no I don't see any food trucks. I don't see like any restaurants or bars or anything open. Everything's pretty much closed. So This is downtown Los Angeles. If you're just joining, this is in front of City Hall. This is where protesters have gathered, and they've been gathering since 8:30 this morning. Around 10:30 is when thousands of people started moving down the streets of downtown from here, and now the majority of them have come back. Yeah, for sure. If you're gonna come down here, bring in like your water and your food, anything that because you're not gonna be. I know there's like probably north of here, there's a CVS on Broadway, but I doubt that it's still open. And since there's a lot of federal buildings, I mean, there's really nothing open. Little Tokyo, I saw on the news earlier that a lot of the buildings or businesses started boarding up. So maybe a lot of them were closed as well. There is one 7-Eleven on 2nd in like Little Tokyo, but I don't know if it's closed. And from here, it looks like, it might be open, but yeah. So there isn't a lot. If you're going to come down, make sure you